Hey!
This is the Mr. Jaguar SMP.
The Lost Season.
I'll explain this part later. My goal is to become the richest player on this server, but there's a twist. I can't gather my own resources. It either has to be traded for with villagers and players, or be stolen. But things did not go to plan. Let me introduce you to someone. This is Mr. Jaguar.
Hi.
He is the owner of this server, and he is notorious for abusing commands on his SMPs. Don't believe me? Here's proof. He also bans players that ever so slightly do something bad to him. For example,
stealing.
And that's exactly what I'm going to do. Will I become the richest thief, or get banned trying? Stay tuned to find out. And with that being said, enjoy the video. Alright, no one else is online. I should be able to explore this server undisturbed.
12 seconds later.
What's this? Oh my goodness. Yeah, all these items really caught me off guard. And I already had a ton of questions. Why is this shop at spawn? Why does everything cost diamonds? How has nothing been stolen? After doing some thinking, I decided to take a sword and shulker shells. You may be asking, why didn't you just take everything and leave? Let me tell you my thought process here. This server is actually a Minecraft realm, and I have no knowledge of how realms work. I only took items that didn't give advancements because I wasn't sure if realms had a chat log where the owner can view the chat and see when people got advancements and such. It would have been awfully suspicious if I instantly got a bunch of advancements within 1 minute of being online. Spoiler alert, realms don't have chat logs. I probably should have checked beforehand. Alright, what's this? Bookshop. Enchanted ones obviously. We are too lazy to move all of our books to this shop, therefore, if you want to buy some you'll have to go to these coordinates. We take diamonds. Refunds not accepted. 2 diamonds for every book. And also you can only buy them whenever either Muslego or Mr. Jaguar is online. So now I have coordinates to what could possibly be their base. While I'm going to these coordinates, let me explain some things. This server started around a month ago, the same time I was on vacation. So I wasn't able to join the server until now. This meant that everyone had a head start at getting good gear and stuff, making it even harder for me to become the richest player. Also, why am I calling this server
the Lost Season?
Well, you see, Mr. Jaguar has a YouTube channel, and he uploads gaming videos, lots of them being on his Minecraft servers. He has made a Mr. Jaguar SMP Season 1 before, and I'm pretty sure that this server was supposed to be Season 2. But the thing is, Mr. Jaguar never recorded on this server. I'm the only one with video evidence that this server exists. So that's why I called it
the Lost Season.
Alright, back to me running. I see smoke. Yup, that's their base. And then I decided to inspect every nook and cranny of their base, taking note of what kinds of valuables they have, so it can be stolen later on. Suddenly I had the smartest idea ever. I was still unsure if realms had chat logs. Once again, they don't. So I decided to get some advancements in a natural looking way, so it wouldn't look like the advancements came from stolen items. This meant, first stone, then a stone pickaxe, then iron, then an iron pickaxe, and finally, diamonds. After inspecting the rest of the base and stealing more items, I went down a ladder in one of the houses and found their bookshop. And once again, I was really caught off guard. And once again, I already had a ton of questions. Actually, I only had one question. Why would anyone in the right mind need an entire double chest of riptide books? Anyway, I left the bookshop and went through their nether portal, but not before stealing a dragon head. After going through the portal, I was greeted with a hallway that led to nothing. But don't worry, because behind the portal, there are 3 hallways. The first one I checked led to nothing. The second hallway on the other hand, led to another portal. I now ended up at someone's base, and from the looks of it, they didn't have a lot of stuff. so I decided to leave their base with 2 music discs. In the same hallway, there was another smaller hallway, and I made the mistake of spending the next 10 minutes trying to get to the end of the hallway. The only mildly entertaining things that happened was getting this achievement. And giving a baby piglin my golden apple. After developing claustrophobia from a block game, I finally made it to the end of the hallway, and I was rewarded with another portal. This portal sent me to a giant open cave with a beacon and amethyst geode. Up to this point, I had way too many questions, and very few of them were answered. I went back through the portal, spent another 10 minutes getting back, and went to the third main hallway. This hallway split into 2 hallways. I chose the one on the right. This hallway led to once again another portal. I went in, and got sent right into the stronghold with the end portal opened. I jumped in, and the only thing here was an enderman farm. I was tired of exploring, so I went through the overworld portal, and was sent back to spawn. I wasn't really sure on what I was supposed to do, but then I remembered why I wanted to play on this server in the first place. So I went to the shop, and got to work stealing everything, because it was at that moment I realized the owner doesn't know that I'm on the server right now. He added me to the server a couple days before this recording, and I didn't join the server up until now. If I just pretended like it's my first time joining the server, he wouldn't suspect anything, and would most likely not check the imaginary chat log I thought existed. After stealing everything from the shop, I went over to Mr. Jaguar's base and started stealing most of his valuable items. I decided to steal all of his enchanted books, so I started with a chest filled with piercing books, since it was closest to the door. After loading all of the piercing books in my shulker boxes, I opened Discord to see if Mr. Jaguar was online, and unfortunately, he was. I only joined the server when I saw Mr. Jaguar offline, because I didn't want him joining the server and catching me stealing all of his items. Seeing Mr. Jaguar online sent me into a panic. I had to quickly pack up my stuff and leave, so I dumped all of the shulker boxes in an ender chest, ran all the way to spawn, hid the remaining items in a chest below a chicken, killed myself, and left the server. That's right, it hasn't even been an hour, and I'm back on the server. Why? Because a bunch of players including Mr. Jaguar were online. They were all in a call, so I started recording, and joined the call. One of the players gave me the coordinates to their base, so while I'm going to these coordinates, let me explain some things. Again, you all know by now who Mr. Jaguar is, but who are these players? Let me introduce you to King Floofer, Guacamole 3000, King Albin, King and Cxlvxn. Let's start with King Floofer. If you are a long-time viewer of my channel, you may recognize this skin. That's right, this is Shorty EXE. He was featured on my channel a long time ago in these 2 videos. Since then he changed his Minecraft name to King Floofer. Next up we have Guacamole 3000. He was also featured in this video for a total of 14 seconds, drinking a glass of juice.
Hallå?
Hoppar du en tjockemil?
Nej, jag poppade ett juiceglas.
Then we have King Albin King. The only thing I have to say about him is that he has the most majestic skin I have ever seen. Finally we have Cxlvxn. Fish. Another thing I should mention is that everyone in this server speaks Swedish, but don't worry, there will be translated subtitles. Alright, back to me running. Even though these players were fine with me coming to their base, I wanted to stay undercover because I was planning on stealing their items as well, and since only 2 out of the 4 players were online, I was sure that no one would be at the base. To this day, I still have no idea how Cxlvxn didn't see me.
Jag drar till dig och hämtar snosten.
I checked all of the chests and they had some decent stuff. After scavenging the entire base, I found this. I quickly packed everything into my inventory and ran to their nether portal. My plan was to find the portal to Mr. Jaguar's base, run back to spawn and hide the stolen loot. And since I had the coordinates to both bases, finding Mr. Jaguar's portal wouldn't be a problem. While exploring the nether, Albin joined, but I didn't worry because he was having problems with his game and couldn't move. I eventually found this netherrack pillar, which I knew led to Mr. Jaguar's portal, but then this happened. Yeah, I'm kind of dumb. Luckily I set my spawn at King Alpha's base, so I ran to the portal, but right when I was about to teleport.
Åh, nej men skojar.
Can you give me some ender pearls please?
Vi dödar honom.
Ej, här. Nej.
Jo. Vadå, ska han råna oss? Vad är det? Jag vill se dig.
I didn't want another player knowing where I was, so I quickly hid myself. And of course, right when I think the coast is clear.
Här var Nemesis, tjena. Var ska du bo då?
I don't know.
Varför har du 2 crafting tables?
Why not? Cxlvxn eventually left, and so I quickly ran to where I died, hoping and praying that the items didn't despawn. Good news. I found all of the items. Bad news. Out of all of the items, the elytra fell into the lava. Instead of climbing up the pillar, I decided to make a secret entrance to Mr. Jaguar's portal. After a bit of exploring, I found a little cave, and from there I dug a tunnel connecting the cave and the portal. I blocked up the tunnel and went through the portal.
Hey!
What is wrong with you? I didn't touch your beacon.
Nej, du måste inte plocka ut.
Ah!
This was bad. I only had 5 minutes to get the items back before they despawn, so I broke my respawn point, killed myself, and ran to Mr. Jaguar's base from spawn, and with only a minute and a half to spare, I got the items back. I ran all the way back to spawn, and hid the items below a chicken. I couldn't bother going anywhere, so I hung around spawn, and right out of nowhere, Mr. Jaguar said this.
Är du min bas igen?
Maybe?
Kanske det, ja.
Jag bara rånar dig.
So as a prank, I decided to say things to make it look like I was at his base. I already knew about all of the valuable things he had, so I started mentioning them. Oh wow, you have a lot of stuff.
Så kan du sluta gå igenom mina kistor, snälla.
Why are there so many shulker boxes here?
Så kan du snälla sluta gå igenom hela min bas.
But I'm not stealing anything.
Ja, det betyder fortfarande inte att du är hjärtat på min bas.
Hello horses.
Ja, vill du bli kvickare eller? Vill du vara en exakt?
So now I had Mr. Jaguar threatening me with a ban. Typical admin abuser. But you don't have any proof of me being at your base.
Du sitter och säger i princip allting som jag haft med mina kistor, så jo.
Holy moly, you have so many enchanted books.
Du tar inte någonting, då blir du seriöst bannad. Skämtar inte.
While I was pranking Mr. Jaguar, King Floofer and Cxlvxn were in the end, and went through the portal. Remember this bed I broke, so I could be sent back to spawn. This was the same bed they used as their spawn point, so they were also sent to spawn.
Nu spånar jag i spawn.
Vem har sönder vår chain?
It was me. Sorry about that. Yeah, I guess I deserve that for breaking their bed. And because Mr. Jaguar still thought I was at his base stealing stuff, he asked this.
Han på sig.
And that was when King Floofer and Cxlvxn's bro code kicked in. They were surprised over the fact that I had 2 stacks of golden carrots, but didn't say anything about it.
Ingenting, typ cobblestone.
So they pretty much saved me from being banned. They even played along with me pranking Mr. Jaguar. You should probably hide all of this stuff before anyone steals it.
Om du inte lämnar min bas inom 3 sekunder så bannar jag dig.
I'm not at your base, I promise.
Senast jag kollade så var han i spawn, men jag vet inte.
So now I knew that I could trust these players, so I private messaged them to come here and showed them all of the stolen loot. They were pretty surprised. King Floofer and Cxlvxn were ready to go back to base, so I asked for fireworks, and the 3 of us flew away. We all made it back to their base, and a couple minutes later, Mr. Jaguar left the server.
Aj till skån guys.
Du snodde ju lagom mycket va?
Du fattar väl, vi kommer vara med i en YouTube-video nu.
Vi ska ta ner den här servern.
It is now day 2 for me on the Mr. Jaguar SMP. Mr. Jaguar wasn't online, and do you know what that means? Stealing. I wanted to steal everything valuable, but what I wanted the most were the enchanted books. I wanted my team to be as stacked as possible, so stealing a bunch of enchanted books would be essential. After I stole some of the enchanted books, I ran back to base and started handing out all of the gear everyone would need, and I left the server before Mr. Jaguar would notice that I was online. I wasn't on the server on day 3, but on day 4 I joined, and Mr. Jaguar was once again offline. Guacamole 3000 was online, and after I told him about my plan to steal Mr. Jaguar's stuff, he was willing to help, so he followed me to the base, and we started stealing the rest of the books as well as some other valuables. Even with 2 players, it took 40 minutes to steal every single book, and I was on edge the entire time knowing that Mr. Jaguar could just show up at any moment. I ran back to base and started placing down all of the shulker boxes, 51 to be exact, So am I the richest player? Let's do some math. There are 51 shulker boxes. 39 of them contain enchanted books. There are 27 slots in a shulker box, which means you can fit 27 enchanted books in one shulker box. According to Mr. Jaguar, each book costs 2 diamonds. So if you multiply that all together, I technically have 2,106 diamonds. And that's only counting the books. If I included the other valuable items, who knows how rich I am. But I do know that I'm the richest player by far. I made myself some diamond armor and tools, got some books, and started doing some enchanting. I got every book I would need and took it with me to the Enderman farm. When I got there I did some grinding, but realized that there was no anvil. So I traveled back to base to get one, and traveled back to the Enderman farm. But before I got there, this was really bad. If Mr. Jaguar found out that his books were gone, he would instantly fly over to our base and see all of the shulker boxes just sitting there out in the open. I quickly got back to base and started helping Alban with hiding the shulker boxes. We hid the last shulker boxes with no time to spare because this happened right after.
Det är från Gunpowder Farm. Nej, han är.